My friends, you see, we're living in a time where there's fear abounding everywhere. You see, I even talk to people, who are not following Jesus Christ, and they sense that there's something wrong, And when I look at people and when I listen to them and I see them, and I'm talking now about Christians, you begin to see that they also have the same fear and all this stuff in them. Anxiety, and you see. So the truth is that the reason for all these things inside Christians is because the foundation that exists within them is a foundation that is built on the world and the world's methods and the world's solutions. You see, and it has never been supplanted by the kingdom of God. It has never been. Jesus Christ has never become the foundation in their heart, in their life. You see, because if Jesus Christ is your foundation, then you will not trust in the world. You see. So why am I talking about trusting in the world and all these things? The thing with it is that in the times that we live in, all the confidences of the world is going to be shaken. Now Christians who are trusting in the same things, and they have been sustained by this kind of half and half living for a long time, now when they start seeing that all their confidences are being shaken, their securities are being removed, then they are going to be afraid, because all along they've really been trusting in the systems that run this world. You see, they've been trusting in their own hands. They've been trusting in what the system has told them. You see, the so-called power that the system has given them. You see, that they are something, that they are somebody, that they have rights, and they have this and they have that, and I'm going to this and I'm going to that. I believe in the right to bear arms, and in the Constitution, and all these other things. And they have trusted in these things more than other things, than the things that are the most important things. You see, and so these things have led them to believe that they are worth something. It's led them to have pride. You see, it's led them to trust in the ways that have made places big. You see, and the truth is that when these things get shaken, then their own faith and trust will be shaken, and they will be afraid. You see, you're afraid you're gonna lose your house. You're afraid you're gonna lose your car. You're afraid, hey, you won't be able to buy your medication. You're afraid anything, an earthquake is going to happen. You're afraid that someone may abandon you or betray you. You're afraid of this and that and all these other things. You see, you're afraid that the Illuminati is going to take over. And the truth is that all these things that people fear is because they never gave God control in their lives. You see, they have been given false controls, fake controls, by some other places. You see, and so they believed in the hype, and they followed, and they lived their life in all these things, and they didn't live their life according to the commandments of Jesus Christ. Because if you live your life in commandments, according to the commandments of Jesus Christ, then you won't be worried about your physical house. You won't be worried about your physical car. You won't be worried about all these other things. What you'll be worried about, my friends, is the kingdom of God. You see, which is a kingdom of peace. You see, you won't be pursuing after all these things. You won't be pursuing after riches. So now what you have done is the Christians have compromised and created false gospels, synthetic gospels, that derive their success off of materialism, using Jesus labels and using Bible verses and all these things to justify their earthly, worldly prosperity. You see, that's what they've done. And so when that prosperity gets shaken, then guess what? All your confidence and all those things, you're going to now start also getting afraid. You see? So you never made Jesus Christ number one. You never made him your foundation. See, for everything. Because that people want to say, oh, I believe in Jesus, Jesus is a healer, Jesus, but all these are just empty words. You see? Because they never made Jesus real to them. Because if Jesus became real to you, my friends, then you will have experiences and revelations from Jesus Christ himself. You see, Jesus will reveal himself in many different ways to you. You see? As a provider, as a healer, as so many different things. As wisdom. You see? But people, they don't want this. They want to keep trusting in the world. And that's why now fear is abounding, because all these systems are being shaken. You see? Because man thinks that he's in charge, and man is not in charge. And Christians believe that. They believe they're in charge. But then they say, oh, I believe in Jesus, I follow Jesus, this or that, you know, false humility and false this and that. You see? So it's a very dangerous place. You see? Because at the end of it, you've got to lose your life in this world to save it with Jesus Christ. You see? So if you're living in that manner, then you will lose nothing. See, there's nothing you're going to lose. You will have nothing to fear. The one who has much to lose in the world is the one who is going to be afraid more. The one who has nothing to lose is nothing to be afraid of. You see? You never lived your life pursuing after all these other things that people told you. You see? You didn't pursue after a Christianity that was owned by greed and materialism and all these other things. See? So when you follow after Jesus Christ, then you've got nothing to fear, because you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. See? Because you're not gaining what the world is gaining. But now when you want what the world has, when you covet, like the Pharisees, you see, and you go after all these things that the world is offering you, guess what, my friends? You're not going to have time to know Jesus. You'll be pursuing after all these other things, and that Christianity will just be equivalent to nothing, just a bunch of empty words. You see, that is why people they've never made Jesus number one, because they've always had something else to trust in. You see, they just go and borrow more money, or they just go and get this from there, you know. And so at the end, when all that falls, then where are you going to go? Then now all you're left with is all your empty words. You see? Empty words. With no substance and no backing, because these words have never been filled with the Spirit of God. You see? So this is what it is, my friends. And in order to build your trust in God, then you need to start having faith in Him. And in order to have faith in Him, then you have to lose faith in the world. You see? You can't trust in the ways of the world. Well, people say, well, you know, we need to be practical and prudent. Well, that means that Jesus is not something practical to you. You see? It's not something practical. It never became practical to you. That's the same thing as people saying Christianity is not rational. Yeah, it's not rational according to the way man sees it, but it's rational according to the way God sees it. You see? People are willing to have faith in all these other people, the scientists and the people who claim to give you facts. You see? But at the end of it, my friends, those facts, they change according to time. Because they don't know everything, these scientists. And next thing they don't know how something is going to react if something changes in the world, or the sun increases by 1 degree. See? Or the Earth's magnetic core behaves in this way and that, and all of a sudden it affects the weather, so now all of a sudden it has affected the whole balance, false balance that man managed to manipulate. You see? And now what are you going to do? Because you trusted in all those systems. They are temporary, my friends. All these things that you call your civilization and your success and your sophistication, they are temporary. And you've never made anything eternal your foundation. That's the problem. It's just a bunch of nice talking. That's it. You know. And that's the whole issue. You see. So my suggestion is that people, you need to know Jesus Christ. And in order to know Him, you need to spend time with Him. These are the simplest things that you can imagine. But you see people, they say they have no time. Where is their time going? Their time is going to the system that owns them. You see, you want this and you want that. So people say, well, I have bills to pay. Well, why do you have bills to pay? You know, because you want this and you want that. You see, you want all these other things. You want the success that the psychologists and the scientists and the business people and the lawyers and the governments and all these people are telling you. But you don't want the governance of God. You don't want the success of God, of Jesus Christ. You see? Many people, they turn Jesus over to the world systems, just like they turned the disciples over to the world systems for judgment, because they try to bring an accusation against them, saying they are against the system. And that's what happens even today. Many Christians are owned by the kingdoms of this world. And then they betray other people and go around persecuting them and saying this and that. And it's because they trust in the world. Then when the world falls, what's going to happen? What's going to happen then, my friends? Where are you going to run to? Where are you going to run to? You see? Are you going to run to your bank? It might not be there anymore. You know, are you going to run to your doctor? There may not be no more, you know, no more hospital. Are you going to run to get your Prozac or to get this and that? My friends, what are you going to do when your money runs out? When your credit runs out? These things are not forever, my friends, because this is what they've led you to believe, that the system is going to go on forever. It's not. And the people are taking you into a slow, they're taking you in a gradual descent to the abysmal bottom. Slowly, you see. And so you don't recognize the changes because you're living such a fast life. So slow changes don't affect you. So next minute you know it's increased by 50 cents, you know, 15 cents, and you didn't realize. Then it's 30. Then you look back 5 years later and it has increased by how many dollars? You see. That's how they change. And sometimes these changes, they don't even happen because a lot of the people, they know, they are afraid themselves what's going to happen. The people that run these systems, you see, they're just telling you lies, and then those false Christian leaders believe the lies. You see, they think they are wolves. You see, some of these people, and some of them are and some of them are not. See, so my friends, if you don't want to fear, please, it's very simple. Go to Jesus Christ. Make Him your foundation in everything, in all the arenas of your life. You know, He has to become everything to you, to all of us. You see? And when these things happen, when we begin to receive revelation, when we begin to see that, you know, He knows us and we know Him, then we don't have anything to fear, because then we know He's in control of everything. But when it is us who is in control, and this control has been credited to us by people we don't really know, then when those controls fake controls start to be taken back, then what's going to happen to you is that you're going to start fearing. See, when you realize that you're not in control and you are nothing, and you begin to follow Jesus Christ, you have no fear. So, are you trusting in the world, my friends? Are you trusting in being a Democrat or Republican? Are you trusting in the economic systems, in your securities, in your investments? My friends, trust in Jesus Christ. This is the only way.